Hello, it is Mark. Welcome to Scotch Sunday. Happy Halloween. And today, for Halloween season here in October, I'm outside in the big thicket here in beautiful weather. It could be a little cooler for October, but it's still pretty nice. Obviously, I'm wearing short sleeves still. It's definitely in the 70s. So today we have Peat Monster, or we have Company Spot's Peat Monster Cask Strength. Now, I've done two Peat Monsters in the past. I did the regular Peat Monster and the Peat Monster Arcana, but this one is the Cask Strength, new this year for their 10th anniversary, I believe. And so anyway, but I think it's 10th anniversary. Anyway, 20th anniversary. So okay, and this is pretty much has the same casks as the regular Peat Monster. The Peat Monster Arcana is somewhat different, but this is pretty much the same as the other. Just I think there's a little bit more of I believe it's the Hogshead, the American Oak, or no, the Sherry Sherry Puncheons is maybe a little bit more. I don't know. No, American Oak Hogsheads. Yeah, I think that's just a little bit more of the Hogsheads in this one. So anyway, Compass Box is a producer, bottler, and marketer of blended Scotch whiskies, and then they do also, I think they do blended grain whiskies also, but basically they do blends. The company is headquartered in Chiswick, and they were founded in 2000 by American entrepreneur John Glasser. He was formerly a marketing director at Johnny Walker. The blenders now are, I believe, what's his whiskey makers now are John Saxon and Alex Driver. Now, it's the first I've heard of Alex Driver. They had Jill Boyd before him, and of course before then I think John Glasser did a lot of it himself. But so anyway, they get their whiskeys from different places and they blend it together. So this is a blended malt Scotch whiskey, which means it's a blend of two or more single malts. It's 56.7% ABV, and it is natural colored, no chill filtration. Compass Box always does that. And they're very transparent with their whiskeys. I think I got this for around 120 bucks. So anyway, I will go ahead and show it to you in the bottle. There's your color. Pretty cool label. You can see the label, and I'll talk a little bit about that when I read it, but it's got like it says New York City there on there, because this is kind of like, I think, where it took off. And this is, of course, this is it in the glass. So, okay. We'll roll it before we go too far. Perfect pour. Okay, so I will read to you first the box. While Peat Monster may boast purely Scottish ancestry, this is a whiskey born in the USA. To mark its 20th birthday and to celebrate America's influence on Scotch whiskey more broadly, we have brought Peat Monster back to where it all began. We originally created peaty whiskey called Monster for the Goldstein family at Park Avenue Liquor Shop in New York City in 2003. It turned out to be so popular that it created a new batch, renamed it Peat Monster, and it joined our core range. Peat Monster, like most Scotch whiskies, owes its maturation vessels to the U.S. whiskey industry and its practice of using casks only once. To highlight the art of American coopering even further, we have finished part of the whiskey used for this special limited edition in seasoned virgin American oak barrels made for us in Missouri. You will have noticed an increased presence of vanilla and cinnamon notes compared to Peat Monster you may be familiar with. Finally, whiskey enthusiasts across the pond tend to prefer higher proof liquors. That is, I don't know, I can't say preference for ever compared to there, but I definitely prefer higher proof. I really don't like anything below 48, and really 50 is better. Finally, whiskey enthusiasts across the pond tend to prefer higher proof liquors, so we offer this expression of complex peatiness at cask strength. We are confident that fans of our release in other parts of the world will be pleased too. Wherever you enjoy this whiskey, join us in toasting 2 decades of Peat Monster and the close whiskey making ties linking Scotland with America. So they did mention Missouri, they got up there, which I wonder if that has, if Glenmorangie has any connection, because Glenmorangie actually owns a forest there in Missouri in the Ozark Mountains. So, but I'm going to spin this one more time because it is a little different on the label. There is some little things here on the label. Blended malt Scotch, 56.78% ABV. Product Scotland. Actually, that's all the same. It just gives me a little bit of the breakdown here. So, Williamson Isle Malt, which is Lafroig. Refill American Oaks Hogshead, 35%. Kaila Refill American Oaks Hogshead, 34.2%. Kaila Refill Bourbon Barrels, 17.9%. Kaila Refill Sherry Puncheons, 11.8%. Highland Malt Blend Custom French Oak Heavy Toast, 1.1%. Bottled December 2022, limited release of 9,126 bottles. So that's actually quite a few barrels if you think about it. That's like probably close to 40 barrels. Well, depending on the size, but could be as high as 40 barrels. So yeah, I'm trying to remember what is one of the things is different. It's a little bit different. I want to say it's I think the sherry is a little bit higher on this one than the regular Peat Monster. I think that's the only difference. So, okay, let's do the nose. Right off the top, despite again the Peat Monster, I always was scared by the name Peat Monster because I thought it would be heavily peated. It just doesn't come across as heavy as a lot of the other ones. It's like hell. Really, the predominant thing here is red fruit. I get a lot of red fruit. Okay, I do get some of that Lafroig peat in there, but mostly fruit. I get a lot of red fruit. I'm getting some orchard fruit. I'm getting apples. I'm getting pears. As far as the red fruit, it's pretty much berries, plums, getting sweet vanilla, getting that peat. You know, it mentioned cinnamon, but I'm not getting much cinnamon. It's much more fruit forward, and this is more red fruity than like citrusy, although maybe there's a little sweet citrus in there, but this is mostly red fruit and orchard fruit. This is berries, plums, some stone fruit plums. Then yeah, the peat. So cherries, I guess, is the other red fruit I get in there. Berries and cherries, apples and pears. Yeah, apples and pears, plums, sweet, getting some vanilla. You get that peat and a little seaweedy iodine, but yeah, I don't get that cinnamon. So, all right. Oh yeah, peat's there on the palate. Initially, it's very, very, very sweet. And then it goes into this burnt wood, like, I don't even want to say oak, but, you know, just this charcoal oak. Very, very peaty, ashy. Yeah, like I smoked some sausage over the weekend. It's like that burnt oaky wood. Yeah, I don't get that Lafroig influence that I thought, considering that's like the biggest chunk. That's 35%. I'm not getting a huge Lafroig influence. This is definitely more campfire, peat, oak, burnt oak, charcoal, ash kind of thing. I get some sweet vanilla up front, then I get a little bit of pepper. It kind of finishes medium long, oaky and peppery on the finish. So a little bit more of the citrus now. The berries are definitely still there, as is the orchard fruit. The peat is very, very subtle on the nose, but it's there. Some of that Band-Aid iodine. Yeah, that's coming through a little bit more now. Okay. Sweet, peaty, peppery on the finish. Very peppery on the finish. Sweet, starts with initial with the sweetness, is sweet lemon, citrus. Goes into this more of the red berries and the orchard fruit. Starts to turn ashy. Some vanilla in there, and then it turns this peppery, oaky on the end. So, okay. So for 120 bucks, that's definitely higher price than their regular Peat Monster. I don't know if I like it that much more than the regular Peat Monster, but I will say that prices today, Compass Box has really just been, their limited runs are just going through the roof price-wise, so I don't think the price really surprises me, and I don't expect that they're going to become reasonable ever again. But they're, again, Compass Box core line is a great value. Their limited editions, not so much a great value. But anyway, I would keep this on my shelf. I do like it. I'm not in love with it. So on my 10-point Likert scale, since I said I will keep it on my shelf, it will get at least a 7 out of 10. Keep that Likert scale small so that it's more reliable. So it's on the 10-point scale. It's not my favorite. But I'll drink it. I don't think I'll buy another bottle, so maybe 7 is even generous. But well, that's what I'm going with. We'll see you next time.